Yeah, with you. Well, it's writing season, and I think I wanted to touch up on just it seems like a lot more people wanting to get involved in groups and clubs and stuff like that. And I don't know if I ever told my story on the subject or my point of view. Maybe you don't care. Maybe you do. Maybe it'll help you. Maybe it won't. Um, but I hung out with a pretty established motorcycle club for a while. Still talk to the guys. Few guys I really liked a lot. But after hanging out with them for about a month or so, I never prospected. I was strictly just a friend of the club. I didn't even get to be a hang around or anything. After about a month or so, I decided that life wasn't for me. So I then started hanging out with a crew, and after hanging out with the crew, probably I don't know 3 weeks or 4 weeks or so. Now this is not a club; this is a crew, and they were just wanting to be a club. You know what I mean? Like they were doing everything that the club was trying to do. They were trying to get patched and become a club, and I didn't want to be a part of a club. I didn't want to deal with the politics. I didn't want to deal with. Sorry, I keep getting notifications. I didn't want to deal with who you can and can't talk to. You know, these mandatory rides, stuff like that. And honestly, man, this crew. You know, I thought we'd go out and ride every weekend or something. Take trips to Kansas City, St. Louis, or something like that. And no, like I'd say, 3 or 4 days out of the week, they just want to sit in the bar and drink. And a lot of clubs do that too. They just go, or either their clubhouse, or they just go drink. It's fucking all they do. Sit at a bar, drink. Don't really go riding. And so I said, man, maybe this isn't for me either. Maybe I'll join an association. And I'm not going to name the association. I don't even know if I have YouTube. I'd have to look. I don't think I have YouTube videos on here of me in my in my cut or anything. But this association was supposed to be helping people, raising money to help people. And as an association, you don't really prospect. You do, but you don't. You know what I mean? Like I think I hung around them and helped out and did stuff for I think like 6 months. They say you're supposed to do it for a year, like a regular prospect, but I got my patch after about a year, or 6 months. Sorry, I was rushed through, mainly because I had good ideas and I was raising a lot of money and helping out with a lot of stuff. I was road captain within 3 or 4 months after that. So this association, which is to me is a copy of another association, they started getting real demanding on wanting us to put events together, raise money for people, and do all this stuff, which I had no problem with. And they'd also do raffle tickets, and they do raffles for guns about, I don't know, every few months. And one time we put this barbecue on at a local bar. We had a bike night, and we spent all day cooking and doing all this stuff, and then we had raffles out, and we were just running around between cooking and handing out raffles, and I know we sold over $500 worth of raffles tickets there. And I think they were $5 for the gun raffles, and a few people bought $100 worth just because of this association. And so the next meeting comes up, and this is, mind you, this is the biggest event we had put on. We put on a little stuff, I've been hearing these reports during our meetings, hey, we're sending such and such money to this person, help with their medical bills, we're doing this, we're doing that. Really didn't get voted on. It just was done, which I thought was kind of weird. So we do this, and I know that I personally collected $200 or $300 in gun raffles, and then somebody else collected probably a couple hundred. I know it was we figured it out to be about $500, and we did $300 in food. So at the next meeting, we're expecting to for that to be on the report. You know, it's when they do our finances for the month. And they said that we had made the 300 and some odd dollars in food sales, but they didn't mention anything about, geez, somebody's blowing me up. They didn't mention anything about the gun raffle. And I called them out on it. And I said, where's the gun raffle money? And they're like, oh, that goes into a different fund. That's, we collect the money for that, and then we pay off the gun, and then that way we can buy another gun to raffle off. Well, okay. Well, apparently this gun raffle been going on for a while, and we were talking about making thousands and thousands of dollars. You know, they later went out after I quit. This is the same gun, and they went and made $1,500 at a man show. So I just felt like this money was being pocketed, which is like the number one rule. And so association rules are going to go the same way as club rules, for the most part, right? Don't steal from the club. Don't mess with anybody's old ladies. And, and don't lie. Just be available. These are old school rules. So something else happened, and the president of this club was super close to the hammer, or the original 1%er of my area. Now, this was before another 1%ing club came in, and they've taken over, because this other club is kind of just full of old members. Like, a lot of the members are really old in their 70s and stuff, and they prospected for a long time, so not a lot of people were joining their club. And so I noticed they had some event going on, this original club, and our chapter, our association, wanted to donate money to them. And I'm like, why are we donating money to 1% clubs? If we're an association, we shouldn't be affiliated with any clubs. And it didn't go to a vote. It didn't go to, to talk about. It got passed by the president, the vice president, and they gave an undisclosed amount of money to the 1% club to support them. And I just want to let you guys know that this kind of stuff goes on. And I called them out. I said, this money's not supposed to be going to 1%ers. This money's not supposed to be going to friends of your family. This money's not, well, even if they were being abused, well, my family's in this situation, and they qualify to get money. Well, I don't believe in that, And then this $500 every 2 weeks that we were sending to this person that no one had ever met, no one had ever seen, but they had been doing that for years, you know what I mean? And for supposedly medical treatment in Texas, driving from Missouri to Texas, which didn't make sense. They should have been going to St. Louis. But I can't talk too much without giving it away. I mean, I want to blow them out of the water, but I might later on, who knows. But I was like, it's crap. You're hiding money that we have raised. You're not giving money to the people that should be getting it. We got some other people that needed money. We drive out, and they needed something, and they said we have to vote on it. So me and another member just took it out of our pockets and got it, this thing that was needed for this person. And we got crap for it. You guys are supposed to ask. We got to bring this all to the table. And I'm like, you guys don't bring your fucking votes to the table when it comes to giving money to 1%ers or whatever you want to spend it on. Everybody kind of shut up about that. And then I decided I'd had enough. This is after about, 7-8 months. I got sick of it, and I went to international. Our international president, right, the representative. I didn't go talk to anybody else. I just said, I think something shady's going on, and I don't agree with it. The guy in charge, the president in charge, finds out that I went to international. By no reason did I break any laws or bylaws or go. I went inside our own network. He finds out, and he gets pissed, and blacklists me and puts me out bad with his organization, which I don't even know how you can get put out bad with an association. This isn't a club. This isn't a writing group or nothing. This is an association. He then has ties with the old members of the 1% club. They're like besties. So the 1%ers put me out as bad, right? I was never in a club. How can I be put out bad if I was never in a club? Mind you, this is after I'd already turned in my patches on my own free will. I have the vice president telling me that he's sorry to see me leave. I'll always be his brother. And I'm told now by the president that I'm out bad, and that the 1% group has put me out bad. I'm in an association, and all I did was, I said, well, what did I do to get put out bad? And they couldn't give a straight answer, because they know that I was in the right, and they were stealing, and actually they should be closed down for that. So, sorry, waiting in the car line. So, put out bad. Never in a club, never in a group. Put out bad in an association. Went to the other 1% club and started going on their open house nights to literally prove that I was not bad. If they had something to say to me, they could say it to my face. 3 or 4 of them would show up to the other 1% club and never say a freaking word to me. Never said nothing to me. I was like, why am I out bad? You know, you buy me beers and stuff. No, you're cool, man. The vice president and Sergeant of Arms would, but the president never showed up to these open houses. So I did that for a year and talked to the other 1% club, and they're like, we agree you shouldn't have been out bad. They don't have any records. There's no documentation. You didn't do anything wrong to put you out bad. But this is just a fair warning. I gotta cut this short. That an association, if they have the right connections, can put you out bad for no damn reason at all. Not because you broke any bylaws or rules, or not because you did something wrong that you shouldn't have. Just because they don't like you, and because they have connections, and because they can if they want, and that's all they have to do. So just be careful, even joining associations. Hope that helps. Maybe I'll make a part 2 if need be. All right, thanks, Jab out.